It was all good, till I look in their faces. I can tell they've been taking emotion replacements. When they ask them what it do, they avoid observation. They just do it how they like, fuck my persuasion. It was all good, till I look in their faces. I can tell they've been taking emotion replacements. When I ask them what it do, they avoid observation. They just do it how they like, fuck my persuasion.
If my daddy never did drugs, I'd do it all the time. Probably be out right now and never write this rhyme. Spending wages on something to get me wired up. Like a pair of jumping cables, I'd never give a fuck. My addictions have no limits. I'd probably be sat here doing heroin right by the minute. My friends would be queuing up to get themselves all in it. It's only a matter of time before they experimenting with it. Every day I'm always wondering, oh, why my people do this? Fuck, why my people always do this? They say there's no addiction, they be so in denial. They've been using for 2 years, they've been on for a while. I'll be back in a sec, they be gone for 10 minutes. I'm just trying to lock out, so I'm getting suspicious. When I ask them who they get it off, they say I'll never know who. I tell them not to cry me for the shit they'll one day go through.
It was all good, till I look in their faces. I can tell they've been taking emotion replacements. When I ask them what it do, they avoid observation. They just do it how they like, fuck my persuasion. It was all good, till I look in their faces. I can tell they've been taking emotion replacements. When I ask them what it do, they avoid observation. They just do it how they like, fuck my persuasion.
I had a conversation with my mother's baby daddy. I asked, what's it like to experiment with these Class A's? He said it starts off with just a little something, then you're out of control of what your addiction's becoming. I used weed under a year ago, I said I'd never do that shit, but I let myself down. Why I do that shit? You do one thing, you feel the whole choice is down to you. Until the next day, the whole town look down to you. For where I come from, that shit is forbidden. I just pray to fucking God that my mum was forgiven. I ain't nothing like my father, I'm never gonna be like him. Ain't following footsteps, I'm never gonna be like him.
I can tell they've been taking emotion replacements. When I ask them what it do, they avoid observation. They just do it how they like, fuck my persuasion. It was all good, till I look in their faces. I can tell they've been taking emotion replacements. When I ask them what it do, they avoid observation. They just do it how they like, fuck my persuasion.